LeBron James has agreed to a 2-year deal that includes a player option in year 2 to remain with the Lakers. Woj, this was not the full 3-year contract that was available to LeBron and the Lakers. So how did they arrive here?
Malika, LeBron James with essentially a 1+1 deal. It also includes a no-trade clause. Only Bradley Beal has one in the NBA, but essentially puts LeBron James right back here next year with the ability to decline his option and either make more money by doing an additional a new contract, probably another 1+1, or if the Lakers are in the same position they are now and there's a player at the mid-level exception that they think they could get, LeBron James could take less next year and help out the Lakers' salary cap situation. Just gives him flexibility, gives the team flexibility either way. But LeBron James under contract for his 22nd season in the NBA, and if he's going to be traded, he'll have the right to make a decision on that.
LeBron James under contract here, Woj. His son, Bronny James, signing his contract today. So we are officially going to see the first father-son duo in the NBA. Please stick around. We'll be back with you in just a minute. I want to bring in the rest of our panel today. Chiney Ogwumike, Mark Spears, Kendrick Perkins will be joining us in just a little bit. But, Mark, I want to start with you here. Were you surprised that LeBron signed a 1+1 deal with a player option instead of that 3-year max?
It's brilliant. Not surprised at all. Extremely brilliant. I mean, but he did something different. Like, the Nuggets, Hawks, Lakers, Kings, Heat, Bulls, and Warriors all have kids that are part of the front office. George Karl, Doc Rivers, Bernie Bickerstaff, Nate McMillan, Don Nelson, Flip Saunders, all their sons have gotten into coaching. This is the first time we've seen a player be able to use his presence to help his son get into the NBA. He has a 1+1 year deal, but his son signed a 4-year deal. For a player, an African-American player, to be able to do that, I think is brilliant. The runway his son has now to use these 4 years to prove that he's an NBA player long-term, by the end of those 4 years then, with the Lakers tutelage, I think he'll turn himself into a quality NBA player. So for him to be able to use his power to do that, I think is pretty legendary.
And I know we're talking a lot. First of all, I love your glasses. I'm looking at you and I'm admiring the blue.
Okay.
I know we're talking about, you know, particularly Bronny's experience with the Lakers. I think it's interesting when you hear this deal. I think of the final countdown. Okay, I'm not good. Hey, he didn't let me down there.
Okay.
Really, for LeBron James, the fact that he has a choice how he wants to end, and potentially based off of signing, you know, alongside Bronny, that is interesting. But it also reminds me of Bryce too, because I don't know if you saw it on the interwebs. Bryce was like, oh, you know, when people are talking about potentially me playing with my dad, having 2 sons, he's like, he's going to be 42. Right. He's going to be 42 at that point, and that's why you see the 1 by 1. Because I do think that we are at the final chapter, and it's going to be fascinating to see where he lets things go.
And certainly sentiment plays a piece in all of this, but we're talking about LeBron James. And when you're talking about LeBron James, he's synonymous with winning and trying to put a team together around him that is going to be able to do that. The Lakers finished 7th in the Western Conference last year after going through the play-in. They only were able to win 1 playoff game. That's not the bar that LeBron James has grown accustomed to in the team, the type of team that he generally wants to play on. So by taking that 1+1, not necessarily the 3 years that we talked about, Woj mentioned maybe looking at that mid-level next year, Mark, how much of a focus does this put on Rob Pelinka, the front office, to continue to tinker and make some moves here?
Pressure's on Rob. He knows it. But here's the thing. We get so enamored with, oh, free agency side started. You got to sign this guy. What about this guy? He's up. Are they going to make this trade? When did Damian Lillard get moved? When did Drew Holiday get moved? When did James Harden get moved from Houston to Brooklyn? There's a lot of time left before they play a game. So I think the pressure's on Rob, but the Lakers fans all should have some patience.
Well, Kendrick Perkins, I'm not sure the P in Perkins stands for patience, but I'd like to get your thoughts here, both on the deal LeBron signed and then what this means for the Lakers in terms of how they're going to approach the rest of their summer here, sir.
Well, I think it starts with, you know, Bron signing the 1+1. I'm like, damn, okay, so he's not committing to the 3-year deal. And I think, you know, it's coming close to the end, right? LeBron, he's taking it year by year. We know how much he invests in his body, right? We get all that. But at some point, his body is going to start talking to him, and at some point he's going to walk away from the game, and we're not going to be able to witness his greatness. And I think it could possibly be next year, to be honest with you. But this has Rob Pelinka written all over it, because even though it's a 1+1, it's a max 1+1. And so LeBron gave him an opportunity to go out there and do what's best. And we all know LeBron, the reports were out there that he wanted Klay Thompson, right? And if you know he wanted Klay Thompson and he was willing to make a pay cut, and obviously you had to do a sign and trade, why didn't you get the deal done? And the reason that they didn't get the deal done is because Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss in the front office of the Lakers, they're holding on to one individual that everybody wants, and that's Austin Reeves. And until they're ready to part with Austin Reeves, right, and upgrade the roster and get a upgrade, which I think Klay Thompson is an upgrade when you put him alongside Anthony Davis and LeBron James, then I feel like the Lakers are still going to be in this spot. And it's not a bad spot, right? They're still a top 5 team right now in the Western Conference, in my opinion. But top 5 is not good enough for LeBron James. He wants to be number 1. Anytime you have him, he wants to win a championship or have a chance to compete for one.
You're making a face. Is that from top 5?
Top 5.
I mean, it's a tough.
Hey, I like the shirt though,
Perk. It's a tough Western
I like that lavender's pretty, bro. I like the top 5. I don't know.
But to your point,
for a team that didn't make the playoffs last year.
But this is what I'm saying. Y'all, get 3. My sisters and my brother. Give me 5 teams that are better than the Lakers right now.
Well, and I think that's what the West is going to be trying to sort of shift and figure out. I think there's a ton of teams right now, though, starting with Oklahoma City, that are sort of top down in the Dallas Mavericks in the Western Conference, and are sort of looking at the Lakers right now. Well, but to your point, Perk, Nico Harrison created the space to be able to bring in Klay Thompson, and that's not something that we saw necessarily Rob Pelinka do. So I want to bring in our salary cap expert, Bobby Marks, because, Bobby, if LeBron, looking here, if he takes the full max this season, it puts the Lakers over the second apron, that big, scary term. What exactly does that mean? How do the Lakers avoid it? What are they trying to do here?
Yeah, Malika, the second apron is at 189. Right now they're at 190. It's most important that they're below that second apron when we get to February. It doesn't have to be right now here. And I think when you're looking at it from the Lakers' perspective, there's certainly a lot of different avenues as far as where they can go. I think one of them is certainly when we look at a player like Christian Wood. If you feel like you can't make a trade, you can waive Christian Wood and stretch his money out over 3 years. That would save you $2 million, and that would get you under the second apron. You could do that right now if you want, but it's all about getting under by the end of next year. A couple things about the apron, just so we've got some clarification here. The Lakers can still, even though they're over, can still trade D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura together as long as they are below that 189 number. It's the post-transactional number. As long as they get below that, they can't take back more money right now. So they're pressed right at that second apron. Why it's important that they're under when we get to February, if they are over, their 2032 first-round pick becomes frozen. They won't have the ability to trade that next year.
And Rob Pelinka has said that they would look into trading those future firsts if the right deals, or future picks rather, if the right deals come to fruition in order to continue to maximize around LeBron. If we could bring Woj back into the conversation here, Woj, what avenues do the Lakers upgrade their roster?
Mark mentioned it. It's a long summer. Free agency, the offseason just started. A lot of deals take time. You've got GMs and team presidents who are going to be in Sacramento for Summer League. They're going to be in Las Vegas for Summer League. And typically this is how you see free agency go. You see a bunch of moves right away, and then it slows down. And that's what's happening in the marketplace now. There's a few months before the season starts. There's a trade deadline in February. But it's not all going to happen at once. And the Lakers have 15 players on their roster right now. That is extremely limiting for them. Bobby described the salary cap limitations. And so I think this is going to be something that plays out over time. But there may be a world where there are really no significant upgrades from the group that the Lakers have right now. But they'll keep talking all summer.
Woj, thank you so very much. We have a lot to get to on our show. Still to come on NBA Today, the WNBA All Perk, have you ever been happier that you got a prediction right of all the predictions you made on this show?
I mean, thanks to Rob Pelinka, I still got my left big toe.
You know what? I can honestly say all of us are so very happy for you and for your big toe. Those are words I didn't think would come out of my mouth on this fine Wednesday. All right, for those who missed it, the news from Adrian Wojnarowski this morning. LeBron James has agreed to return to the Lakers on a 2-year, $104 million contract. The deal brings LeBron back for his 22nd NBA season and essentially becomes a 1+1 deal that allows him to reassess his Lakers future and really his NBA future next summer. So let's bring in Dave McMenamin, our NBA reporter who covers the Lakers. So what does LeBron agreeing to a 1+1, Dave, instead of this full 3 years signal to you?
Like, it signals to me that this could very well be the last contract that LeBron James signs in his storied NBA career. It's been a point of pride for him and his representative, Rich Paul of Clutch Sports, that his entire career he's played out every contract that he signs. There's never been a time where he's asked for a trade to a team. There's been a time he's been traded from a team he was on. And so every time he put his pen to paper, the terms of that contract were delivered by him as a player. Now, if he was to sign a 2+1 or a 3-year deal, maybe he had some doubt in his mind whether he'd be able to fulfill that contract. This puts him in a situation to play 1 or 2 more years, perhaps get that kind of numerology of number 23 playing 23 seasons in the league, the most ever, I would remind you. Right now, 22 will tie him with Vince Carter, and be a way to kind of ride off into the sunset. But again, I have to emphasize here, LeBron James, certainly it's been an amazing occurrence to have the chance to play alongside his son, Bronny James, but he still wants the Lakers to be exploring every avenue to get better so they can be as competitive as possible next year.
You mentioned Bronny, Dave. You also reported today that he agreed to a 4-year deal with the Lakers. What should we know about how that contract looks?
All right, first of all, let's have a brief history lesson here, Malika. Last year, number 57 pick in the second round, Trace Jackson Davis, signed a very similar deal, 4-year deal with an option at the end. The number 58 pick, Chris Livingston with the Bucks, similar deal, multi-year contract. This is the same situation that Bronny James is in. I know there's people out there that are going to want to criticize the Lakers and LeBron and Bronny James and ignore the facts, but let's consider the facts. There's a high-risk, high-reward type of situation here. If Bronny James ends up hitting the way the Lakers expect him to, the way they hope he can, underneath J.J. Redick and their new player development program, then hey, it's a team-friendly deal, as they are a borderline second apron team, and they need to find things like that to be able to stay competitive in this window while you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And so you're not going to draft the kid unless you have a plan to have him on the actual roster. And now the work really begins. A couple days from now, we'll see him up in San Francisco, his first Summer League action against the Kings.
Yep, Summer League right around the corner. Dave McMenamin, thank you so very much. But we know LeBron's deal is far from the only news around the league on this fine Wednesday in July. So let's just run through a little of the best of the rest. Just a little chop it or drop it here. We're going to start by sticking with L.A. The Lakers, they're hiring Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks as top assistants alongside J.J. Redick on his new staff. That's according to Woj. And it gives the rookie head coach 2 longtime veterans on his team who have a combined 31 seasons of head coaching experience between them. But did you know, Mark, that these two, they have a little bit of history? We had to go through the archives here. McMillan and Brooks, actually, they threw some hands back in '93 in the playoffs. So chop it or drop it. These two have officially squashed their beef, but in all reality, what do they bring to the staff?
Definitely chop it. And, you know, Scotty don't look tough, but he from, like, Central California. He from farm country, so don't sleep on Scotty Brooks. I love this move for J.J. Redick. I mean, you got 2 veteran head coaches on your bench. They'll know everything. And one thing I know about Nate and Scotty, as you see right here, they're tough-minded, and they won't be scared to say anything to anybody. So to have 2 veteran former head coaches who are both capable of being head coaches in the league by your side, there's nothing that JJ will miss, whether it's practice, games, preparation, Great move by JJ.
I love that little, freeze right there on the strangle moment. All right, Shanae, next up, Klay Thompson. The four-time champ's 13-year run with the Golden State Warriors has come to a close. It's still weird seeing his name over a Dallas Mavericks signage here, right? His longtime teammate, Draymond Green, offered up his perspective on his latest podcast episode. Take a listen.
I do know the joy that basketball brings him, and it brought sadness, it brought unhappiness last year for him. And again, if you ever care about someone's well-being, go through the struggle with somebody and you only care, your number one goal for that person is to see them happy and enjoying what they do because you care about their well-being, then a part of me wanted Klay to leave. And not wanting him to leave in the sense of want him to leave, but want him to leave because you only want to see him be the guy that you know he is.
So Draymond thinks that basketball brought sadness and unhappiness to Klay last season, which honestly makes me sad to think about because Klay, when you watch him and he kind of has that fire in him, he's one of the most fun players to watch in the NBA. So chop it or drop it. Do you think that Dallas sort of gives him that renewed sense of joy in this game?
Let's chop it. Okay. Absolutely. And I think when you care about someone, you want them to be great no matter what environment they're in. And I do like that Draymond did say that. And he also said that he had some tears. He didn't show it in the podcast, but guys are brothers.
Man juice.
Man juice, is that what we're calling tears? That's hilarious. But I do think it's difficult, especially when you're the first one of the big three in Golden State to have their role truly minimized and also a lot of their problems pinned on you not performing at the level that came before. Now he chose to go somewhere where he doesn't have to deal with that. Yep. His role as a catch and shooter purely is going to be maximized alongside Luka Doncic, and you cannot knock him for wanting that, particularly because it's a difficult position to be in. Yeah. So I'm happy that they're happy, both of them, and care about the well-being first and foremost.
And it's interesting to hear that perspective from Draymond, a player that not that long ago we had questions about whether or not he would be the first player of that trio to exit Golden State, and now it is still that duo is still intact. All right, let's go to the East now. Next up, Donovan Mitchell. He dropped a little commercial. Did you see this for his newest shoe?
Three Stripe Life.
So he threw down a monster dunk in this ad, but Perk, was it too good of a slam? Watch it here. Chop it or drop. Is this real?
Absolutely not. You know what was real? Me shooting those three-point shots. Me shooting those three-point shots with lethal shooter. Right here, they added a little something to that. You could tell when he went between his legs, it sped up a little bit. So, at the end of the day, it was a dope commercial. Shout out to Cam Wilder. I see him doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? One of those guys in the YouTube space that has maximized to his ability.
A lot of people, first of all, the video of you shooting threes got hundreds of thousands of millions of views. People probably thought that was Photoshop too. Come on, man.
Doc should have let you shoot threes, man. Doc should have let you shoot.
My dunk videos actually.
No, I believe you. Perk, I believe it. Yours were real.
All right, last up, y'all. Have you checked the ESPN bet odds lately? The Thunder, they leapfrogged the Denver Nuggets. They have the best odds to win the Western Conference. So chop it or drop it, Mark. Oklahoma City has the best chance. They are the best team in the West here.
Chop it.
All right.
They've made some great moves. Caruso, obviously. What has Denver done? Got DeAndre Jordan back. It's been really, really quiet. A lot of pressure on Calvin Booth.
I like this because if you go just by the standings, yes, OKC is, they finished number one in the West and they added key pieces. Their big question mark was who would be that guy to bolster alongside Chet Holmgren the paint, protect the paint. They added some protection there with Isaiah Hartenstein. And overall, they got the guy that everyone wanted, Alex Caruso.
Yes.
That competitive guy that can help you win games based off of how hard he plays. I like it, but I don't know, Malika. You tell me. There's something to me about the Timberwolves. There's something to me. I know they fell short.
But don't forget about the
Nuggets or who?
No, the Nuggets I'm a little bit concerned about. I think that they have let a lot of pieces go here. I think that the Timberwolves are going to come back and try to avenge farther than they were last season.
Because technically they were farther than the Thunder.
Right, but I think that Oklahoma City, I think that they addressed the exact needs that they needed to this offseason. And largely we're seeing the Timberwolves sort of run it back. What do you think, Perk?
Oh, they're the best team in the West. Sam Presti did his thing, not thing. This offseason, getting Alex Caruso, getting Isaiah Hartenstein, but then being able to sign Isaiah Joe, who's a huge part of what they're building over there. One of the best shooters in the game, especially when he gets hot. So when you look at the core, yes, they still have their big three, and they still have Lou Dort, who's a professional pest. But when it comes down to one guy who I'm looking at, I'm looking at Jalen Williams. I'm looking at him to take a leap. I think he's going to be an all-star this year. I think he's going to be a 25-point guy a night. That's how big of a leap he's going to take. They're clearly the best team in the NBA. Shout out to Sam Presti for doing his job.
In the West,
and I'm just giving
NBA?
Flowers to Sam Presti. No, in the West.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, Sinead.
Yeah.
I'm just giving flowers to Sam Presti
Sometimes when you give out
because
flowers,
he gave me my biggest
the bouquets
contract.
get bigger than
That
the
part.
bouquets get bigger than you thought they would. All right.
And I got on lavender.
And it's stunning, Perk.
That's pretty, babe.
Still to come on our show, in honor of Perk, and it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to some old faces and new places this season. But what player do you think that moved this offseason is going to have the biggest impact on their new squad?
I'm going to go with CP3. And we're talking about, having an impact not just on Victor Wembanyama, but the rest of those young players in that locker room and taking a lot of pressure off of Greg Popovich. And look, I said that the Spurs are going to be in the play-in tournament, and I believe that, right? Just imagine what Victor Wembanyama is going to learn from Chris Paul, arguably one of the greatest point guards to ever touch the damn basketball floor. So I'm looking at CP3, not only what he could bring on the court, but what he's going to bring off the court, and how much of a benefit he's going to be to Greg Popovich.
Look, I'm right there with you, Perk. The Spurs went from 0 to 100 real quick because last year, if you remember, they were experimenting at the point guard position, having different players run point, and I think, Victor was not happy with that because then you saw some of games where, they weren't passing on the ball necessarily in the right places, and that is frustrating, especially if your goal is to win. We all know it's going to be a process for the Spurs to win, but by bringing in Chris Paul, I think you set the tone. If you know Chris, he has a no-nonsense approach to basketball. Every possession matters, and also with the lobs, it's going to be fun to see what he does with Victor Wembanyama.
I'm going to go with Clay. Still odd seeing in that graphic with him in a Dallas uniform. But I understand for him going to the Lakers, I think is actually even more pressure than playing for the Warriors. Going home, playing for his dad's team, J.J. Redick's a new young coach playing with LeBron. He's going to Dallas, and it's just going to be about basketball there. He's going to get the easiest threes that he got since he played with KD and Steph. He's going to sit in that corner, and the guys from the Mavs that weren't knocking them three down, he's going to get it. And the spotlight's not on him. There's two other stars. Clay don't want to talk to us.
Well, he's also just
he wants to talk to me about Oakland Grill, eating omelets at Oakland Grill. He don't want to talk to me about.
Isn't it Lake Travis in Texas? We got to get him some water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good luck with
that. He's not going to be riding the boat to the arena.
But it'll be about basketball, so I think he'll be great there, like Ray Allen going to Miami.
I wanted to say DeJounte Murray to the Pelicans, but because we don't yet know what's happening with BI there, right? I'm still wanting to see that sort of incomplete summer be sort of complete.
I love the Pelicans move.
No one said Paul George to the 76ers.
That's too easy a
Too obvious.
Too easy a
but
pick.
I think it's going to make a pretty dang impact on the 76ers. Perk, final thought on this before we move on.
Oh, no, I was just commenting on my brother Mark Spears about the Ray Allen going to Miami. You know what I'm saying?
My bad. It's too early. It's too early.
All right. Well,
too early.
While we're taking a step back to look at free agency, how about we talked about Kemba Walker calling it a career. He's going to be joining the Charlotte Hornets and Charles Lee on his coaching staff. But for now, we're just going to pause, pay tribute to the king of the step back.
Walker with 7.
Got a mismatch.
Walker on McGee with 4. Kemba Walker. Step back. Walker. Cardiac Kemba does it again. UConn wins at the buzzer.
Cardiac Kemba also just
that March Madness rhyme.
All right, time for a little top of the top. We're going to do some best step backs all time. We're going to start with top ankles. This is 2013, the Rising Stars game.
No!
It was that good that we needed to include it. Kyrie.
Yeah, I remember this.
Rocked Brandon Knight.
That's the guy that Blake got too.
Yeah.
Why was it so hard on Brandon Knight,
man? I know.
It's just a great highlight. Then in 2014, this was when J.R. Smith dropped his future teammate Tristan Thompson. T-tops, not there.
In the garden.
And then we got to get Kemba here.
Oh, yeah.
This is on Nikola Mirotic.
Timber. Oh, man. Touch earth.
You talking about a gumbo. God bless America.
I think even MJ had to laugh at that one.
Maybe it'll make it.
This is Joe Johnson on Nurkic. He also would hit the game winner in this one. So look at Nurkic's haircut there. Throwback. All right.
One of the most underrated players that don't get talked about enough.
Let's take it a step farther in our step backs to top disrespect. This is 1994.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Isaiah Ryder. And then it's the smile after, too.
Down business.
Like,
yeah, that was evil. That was an evil smile. And the laugh.
And then, of course,
this is the one.
AI with the step over then after.
I was there.
That is definitely disrespect.
Excuse me.
I don't think you said excuse me.
But T. Lou got the last laugh, though.
Very true.
And then Dwayne Wade
cleared out part of the Red Sea.
And then he stared him down,
chest bump.
too.
Give me the chest bump.
Look at him.
That was like bowling pins.
Wow.
Clearing the lane. This is the one I've been waiting for.
Yep, look at the lick of the lip.
And then remember, like
and memes forever were born. We're sorry, Wesley. All right, this is top winner chicken dinner. 1998, Michael Jordan, Game 6 of the Finals against the Jazz. Sorry, producer Condis.
Dang, B. Russ. B. Russ told me he pushed off though.
Yeah, that's what you.
That's what B. Russ said. He's sticking with that.
That's part of the move.
That sounds good. After he pushed off, pushed off. Yeah. And then, I mean, Derrick Rose to beat the Bucks. He was so cold.
Electric man.
Prime D-Rose.
Okay, this one, my family has some feelings about, but it's fine. LeBron James, I mean, he's silencing the crowd in Oracle Arena.
They actually clapped after this game. Were you at this game, Malika?
Yeah, because you have to have an appreciation. It's a high basketball IQ audience, but when when LeBron does his signature move there, and then recent history, Luka.
This is a big one. I like that we. Yeah, this was a big one.
I maintain that we.
Cody Jenkins, my pistol's out now. Make sure y'all go run that up. You heard it live from your boy Bobby Shmurda. Get out.
Chase gang.
You live by it, you die by it, that shit true. Lost a couple homies, some real shit I got hit too. Gotta watch your back, you get killed, niggas are spin through. Where would I be without my pistol? You live by it, you die by it, that shit true. Lost a couple homies, some real shit I got hit too. Gotta watch your back, you get killed, niggas are spin through. Where would I be without my? Where would I be without my pistol? Where would I be without my pistol? My pistol. Where would I be without my? Them niggas caught me lacking, had that thing right by my side. Already one in the head, nigga, this shit do or die. You fuck around and lose your life, you come and playing with mine. I told them boys this shit get hot when you playing with fire. Boy better not jump up on that block if he ain't ready to ride. Goofy musta thought it was cool, we just trying to survive. That musta went over his head, same way bullets gon' fly. You know that shit ain't got no name once they open they glide. Need to stop shooting from that corner, nigga, run down my side. Niggas saying they doing drills, taking innocent lives. Niggas shooting for count, they never really hitting them guys. I keep it on me all the time, but would I be without my? You live by it, you die by it, that shit true. Lost a couple homies, some real shit I got hit too. Gotta watch your back, you get killed, niggas that spin through. Where would I be without my pistol? You live by it, you die by it, that shit true. Lost a couple homies, some real shit I got hit too. Gotta watch your back, you get killed, niggas that spin through. Where would I be without my? Where would I be without my pistol? Where would I be without my? Where would I be without my?
Where would I be without my Glock? She a thotty, she be all over my body. Can I love you or you are for everybody? If I leave, she coming right beside me. Like, was only one by my side. Not go home and play, nigga, you gon' die. The house broken up, niggas, they been fried. Like, free skim, he got locked for homicide. Like, So I'm trapping on my lonely, and I'm swerving in the foreign by my dolly. And these niggas outside not really my homies. Free gang, free broke, free the homies. Like, why they talking like they on that, but these niggas ain't on shit. All my niggas sliding and my niggas talking blicks. Baddie on my side and she really with the shit. Talking real crazy, she gon' push a nigga away. So I'm trapping on my lonely.